Okay. For anyone actually paying attention, sorry for the delayed start. We had some technical difficulties that hopefully will be resolved afterwards. But welcome to Snogweeb Dungeons Incorporated, our continuing adventure with Unit 32, Alexei, Coeli, and Shockmaw the Dreadful, where we will see where their, at this point, antics, for lack of a better term, will take them. Uh, so,
Have we hit full-on antics territory?
I think last session you guys definitely hit antics territory.
Antics to you.
The blind people breaking obelisks, followed by.
I don't know what you're talking about. I see perfectly
Perfectly
fine.
logical.
I want you all to know that that is exactly how you destroy ancient obelisks. You throw two blind people at them until they fall over. That's how you do it, and I won't have anyone say otherwise.
But so when we last left off, our brave band of heroes, after leaving Sandalvar, decided to hang around Mirror Lake before investigating further, deciding there would be minimal repercussions, where they were able to encounter some naiads and learn some more of the goings-on of the lake, leading to their trek to the central island, where they encountered another mysterious entity and some strange obelisks, where they opted to go with some renovating and landscaping techniques, resulting in the eventual destruction of the obelisks, to the creatures' great thanks, where it bestowed them with some trinkets as rewards and sent them on their way. Then venturing north, the party encountered a woman named Sonia, who was beset by soldiers from the city of Iron Crown, opting to help her instead of the soldiers. They bested them and joined up with her, and now are traveling with the additional companion as they have now reached the edge of the Desert of Flame on their way to Iron Crown.
It's crazy that you said the name Sonia because her real name is Daddy.
Well, it can't be both Daddy and Coeli's wife. That just doesn't work.
Well, that just depends on who wears the pants.
I guess that's true.
I'm not sexist. Right. I'm going to disappear off screen a second while I remove this shirt and put my robe on because it's cold. So I haven't gone anywhere, but I'm not doing it on here.
You're just getting into character is what that is. It's not cold, you're getting into character.
Good point. Okay, I'm getting into character. Either way, back in a second, but I can hear you.
While he's off to get something nice and toasty. While we're in this part here, can I attune to that nice fancy circlet?
Did you read what? God, Sam! God.
Gremlin.
Right, sorry, I know this is
God.
related, but I just need you all to know. I put the camera. I took off my pants for no reason.
Off to a great start tonight.
Stop messing with the camera. That is so loud. So
When you mess with the camera, go ahead and mute yourself.
so you will notice that your item has a special attunement requirement.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a very hard one, but
Let's see.
are you finally done, Sam? Because that was incredibly auditorially painful.
I can do nothing. Except offer an apology.
Brief apology to our viewers, both for the noises Sam was making and the fact that you now have to see the deep V of his chest.
So were you able to find the item?
Yeah, requires achievement by a sorcerer who has magically recovered hit points. Do not recall if I've been healed magically or not.
I do not believe you have yet, because you did not actually suffer any damage through any of that.
You
Did-
don't take damage. Disengage out of it. That's
Yeah, fly the hell out of there.
I think at one point she took damage from a trap. Oh no, that's the one shot. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah, if this
talk
was
about
one shot
that.
Coeli, I could absolutely do it, but I don't think I can right now.
We don't talk about that dark time.
But on the bright side, you do have a person who is able to magically heal you at any time.
We also have health potions.
But why would you use a resource when you have my lay on hands rule?
I'm just saying, if you have to be down at the time, we can run it.
The potion count is magical.
If you wish to attune to the thing artificially, I'm more than willing to shoot you with fire. I mean, I was joking until I said it, and I thought, like, this is a decent idea, actually, so...
Only comeuppance you're gonna get for Korvoth, so might as well take it.
Let's go, hold on, ready. What's your AC?
13.
Okay, I can hit that.
Real quick, I feel like we should RP this.
Oh, we are, I'm just seeing if I can hit it. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even know that, so I wouldn't suggest it.
I just like what essentially just played out of people waking up in the morning and be like, hey, shoot me.
Yeah, hit me.
Yeah. Well, I know nothing about this, so I'm going to do nothing. But just lay it on the table, out of character, that we can artificially arrange for you to suffer damage in a way you won't be killed, or we can just try and get you into combat with something that doesn't kill you.
Is this morning for us?
Yes. This is morning.
And you said we're on the edge of the desert, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you can Arcana check to see if Coeli actually knows what the requirement is.
Oh yeah, well yeah, because you did identify it when you got it and you rolled really high in your Arcana, so I counted that as a full identify for your purposes. So you would know
Okay.
the full criteria of the item.
Oh, I've got a flower in my hair, haven't I?
You do.
When like morning comes round, instead of being stood still like a complete sentinel, I want to be holding it in front of me. I want to look at it and see if I can tell what it is.
Okay.
But also, I like it because it's pretty.
You can make a Arcana check while Coeli is debating how she wants to hurt herself.
That's 12.
You're not entirely sure. You do believe that it may be magical because in the day or so that you've been walking, it still looks just as vibrant as ever, but you're not sure what it does.
Interesting. Would I know who would know what it does?
Nope.
Okay. Out of character question. I mean, that wasn't an in-character question. But out of world character question. Is there like scrolls of identify and stuff
Yep.
like that you can find? Oh, right, okay.
So,
I'm pretty sure any spell can be put on a scroll
yep.
in the system. Whether you can find it or not is another question.
You can even find wands of most spells. So I guess if you really looked hard enough, you could even find like a wand of identify. If you never want to learn the spell yourself.
Find some goggles of it, identify.
So,
They're actually just two wands of identify with some proof attached to them.
so you're all chilling at the edge of the desert.
I'm gonna walk up to Sonya.
Hmm.
Hold on, give me a second. Gotta get into character.
See, this is what you should do beforehand. Practice. Prepare.
Sonya.
Walk around the house speaking in a Russian accent.
She
You've done it.
looks at you. Yes.
Have you been through the desert before?
I
I'm much more of a man of the sea myself.
I have
Much like all of this sand.
I have not, but we have similarly inhospitable terrain in my homeland, so I do not fear this waste, though one should always be alert in unfavorable territory.
Do ye perhaps know how far away? Actually, I would know this. Never mind. Iron Crown seems to be pretty far away from our current location. Do you think we have enough water? I've heard it's rather hot in the desert.
We are probably light on rations for a desert travel. Did you want to go see if we could forage up more, or do you have means with which to acquire more water?
Well, according to this map I've got, there's a river running from the lake to Iron Crown. Perhaps we could go to the river and just follow it along.
That'll be for your reference. That'll be about 2 days travel eastward to get to that river.
How far are we, as in reference to Sandalfar and Elmos?
You
Should we
travel.
just follow the road from Sandalfar?
You just followed the road.
Okay. So we're on that road that's in between.
Yes.
Gotcha.
How many water skins do we all have? Because I have one and I don't need it. So I'm happy to give it.
Everyone got one with their starting equipment, and I did get some water for us back when we were in our original town of Letitia, but I don't think we've gotten any more since then.
Well, how long is the desert crossing? And like, if we're heading to Iron Crown, now I think you said Ice Crown. If we're heading to Iron Crown,
It'll be about 2 days travel on your donkey cart.
do we use a day?
I looked that up before. It was, what, 12 quarts of water a day for a person in a desert?
Yeah. I think we've got just enough as long as we don't mess around.
How much do we have left in the barrel?
Oh, you got a. That's right, because you picked up a barrel. So that's not water, but. Or did you have a barrel of water?
Yeah, I bought food and water for the...
Yeah, but you bought a barrel?
Is there a better way to carry a bunch of water?
I mean, if you've got a barrel of water, then yes, you're probably covered.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially because we've only got 3 party members consuming it. Well, some of us.
4.
4 party members consuming it.
And 2 donkeys.
Three lessons, let the NPCs die.
Yeah.
And 2 donkeys.
Okay, yeah, the donkeys are good too. They've got names Bell and Whisper. We're not having them die.
If we can help.
Their names.
I don't like that smile you just did, Andrew. You're gonna kill the donkeys.
I resent that.
That's the moment we get invested when we find out my entire story is the revenge of Bell and Whisper.
So, are you heading out then?
Yeah, I have no suggestions other than I would wish to get to Iron Crown if that's the objective.
With the magical, or with the barrel of water, I think we'll be okay.
Just wondering, do we have any particular reason to be going to Iron Crown? This is to the group in general. or is it just because it's on our way to get to the Isle of Diamonds?
It is just on the way to the Isle of Diamonds, as far as I know. And aside from the fact that Sonya is going there to defeat
Kubrick.
yes, Kufri.
Let's go. I moored it. I did it.
One last question. I happen to have 6 sets of chainmail armor and 6 shields, and 6 spears. Do any of those happen to have insignias for Kubrick or Iron Clan, or Iron Crown on them?
No.
Okay.
So
That's
we
what-
went over that last time. He's rapidly expanding, and so there's not really like a standardized uniform in the Iron Crown army. It's
I remembered asking it, but I didn't remember what the answer was.
Don't worry, Tyler. I'll make sure to tell them where we got them from.
Well,
we had a whole heart-to-heart last time, Prima.
All right. So are you following your usual venturing order? Is it Oh,
Going to actually start the roleplay conversation of attuning. I'm going to go talk to Alexi first. So I have this slight problem.
That is something I can help with.
Possibly. The circlet will not let me attune to it unless I am magically healed. And as
Okay.
you know, I don't really stick around long enough to get hit. But is that something that you could help me with?
Yes, absolutely. Do you have a dagger or some small cutting implement?
Yeah, I pull out my dagger.
And just cut your palm there. Little bits.
Looks at her feathers. And cuts her feathers.
Yeah.
you take 2 points of slashing damage.
Oh no!
wait a second, daggers are piercing.
Piercing or slashing.
I'm
They
gonna
are
slice
both
them.
slashing.
Not in 5e.
Well, that's wrong.
Tell that to your chicken breast.
But I will take your feathers in my hands and little warm glow and use 2 points of my lay on hands pool to get you healed back up.
Ta-da!
Now it's my turn.
Do I see any of this?
I mean, you don't ever really sleep, so yes. You.
Okay.
Are we actively moving at this point? Because she might not notice if she's leading the donkeys.
Well, it sounded like this happened before you guys hit the road, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah. I think this happens in the morning, doesn't it? Before we move out.
That was my understanding.
Yeah.
In which case, I'll whir into life and look at the thing that happened and say, in the future event that damage needs to be inflicted upon a friend, I offer my own services in case they are needed. I am quite capable.
Understood, Prima. We will keep that in mind.
And then I smile.
Commander looks a little bit disconcerted, like, okay.
Well, you've got to realize this is the first time I've ever seen people do this. I'm now going to think this is a normal behavior. Good job, guys.
The team killer recognizes one of her own.
Pleasure.
Alright, so you press on into the desert?
Yes.
Okay. As you enter the desert, you do
I'll meet
notice
the donkeys.
that there are very distantly spaced, wooden stakes acting as a sort of road amidst the sand. So if Prima is leading the donkeys, can
Oh, this is bad.
I get Prima to roll a d20, please?
No, you can't.
Can I assist because I was given my standard seat.
There
with the
is
foot behind the door.
there is no assist for this roll.
The robot rolls a 19 and does an actual dab.
Okay, you rolled 19. All right.
Yeah.
So you begin your journey, heading through the desert. Most of the day seems to pass fairly uneventfully. The day is very warm, but with your little stockpile barrel, you're able to press onward without too much difficulties. Hold on. I apparently have been receiving secret messages. No. The answer is no to secret message. So the day passes largely uneventfully. Just the oppressive heat of the sun bearing down on all of you, and you're mostly kind of feeling the oppressive oblivion of being in the desert as the green has slowly disappeared behind you. And then up ahead, you can see you're slowly catching up to another group of people. Seems to be about 5 of them. They've all got cloaks pulled up. They look kind of tattered and beaten up. One of them appears to be carrying a trident, and another one is quite happily playing a lute.
Are they going the same direction as us, or are we?
They are. You are kind of gaining on them because they are on foot and you are on a cart.
I will slow the roll of the car as we're gaining in order to maintain what I would believe is a tactically advantageous distance, mostly the distance of a fireball.
I assume the captain's position and look through my spyglass.
Okay, you get a much better look of 5 people's backs. Make a perception check.
All right, ready? Time to fail my first roll of the night. Holy shit! Never mind. 23.
Okay. So I'll say with that, you're able to make out that one is notably shorter. You would presume by the girth of the figure, probably a dwarf.
It's a very halfling.
There are 2 male figures and 2 female figures of the other 4 that appear to be human-sized. And you can just barely make out the one with the trident kind of has kind of like sea blue greenish skin.
Can I see that one of them's carrying a trident?
Oh yes, the trident. Well, you can't.
Blue.
You can't. Well, I mean, you're welcome to make a perception check to see what you can identify. But
Oh,
with
fucking nothing. Minus 1. I mean, I'll do it. Here we go. That was investigation. I mean, that was a good roll as well. Okay, yeah, it's 7. I can't see my feet.
yeah, you can see the trident though. It's a very large spear-like weapon. It's pretty identifiable.
As a man of the sea, would I be able to perhaps glean what this trident-carrying person is?
Yeah, I would say that's not a stretch. That you believe it might be a Triton.
Okay.
Can I send him a message?
I
The
mean,
Triton or me?
The Triton.
you're just going to send a message to a complete stranger? Okay.
He's holding a weird weapon. And also he's holding a weapon, whereas is anyone else visibly armed to me?
Not from your vantage point, because they've all got kind of cloaks on.
Okay, so the message sent goes, armed individual inside my response range. Identify yourself, please. You can respond to this message.
Okay,
No, this message will self-destruct.
you
5,
you
4.
you don't get a response, But up ahead, you guys watch as the one figure kind of stops, looks left and right, then turns around, at which point everyone turns around.
What did you do?
You messaged him, didn't you?
I asked him a question. I also won't stop the cart, because I'm keeping this at range until they tell me what I want to know.
So, one of the...
I'm gonna hop off the cart and start walking towards them.
Okay, Sonia,
Oh, pretty much.
Sonia remains in the cart.
I pull out our flag of parley. Take it with me.
Okay, they kind of have a bit of a confused look at what is going on right now. As you get closer, you're able to see. So there's one woman wearing chainmail. She has a sword strapped to her side. The woman is carrying a lute. She's wearing kind of like traveling clothes. She has kind of a cheery expression on her face, but seems a bit inquisitive at your approach. There is a very slight male, again wearing armor with a rapier at his side, and then the Triton, very clearly not human, is wearing chainmail with his trident, and then there is a blonde bearded dwarf wearing armor with a hammer at his side. The armored woman steps up and goes, "Yes, well met, travelers."
Real quick, based on what would I know about the Triton?
You know that they're...
Are they generally good? Are they generally evil? Are they troublemakers?
I mean, they're generally fairly aloof. You would have encountered them only sparingly. They usually don't venture very far inland normally. This is unusual. They're not overly common.
So, if I'm following them and seeing, I'm assuming now I can see everything you just described. Like this is,
Are you also closing the distance? Because you said you were staying at firebolt range.
yeah,
I am definitely closing to this.
Well, I know. I was
I
asking
told you to
Prima.
go.
I was told to go. I will do. What
Oh,
I'm
okay,
told.
okay.
I mean, I'm carrying the car because I was told to fucking 3 weeks ago, and I haven't stopped because no one said otherwise.
So are you pulling the whole cart closer?
Yeah, no, I'm actually, oh, okay, fine. If that's what they told me to do, I'll do it. So I pulled the car closer. At which point, as I see the Triton, I will point at it socially, awkwardly, and say, "This unit appears to be a naiad."
How does the Triton take that?
He kind of tilts his head briefly, looks behind himself, stops, realizes he's being pointed at, and just laughs.
This reaction was unexpected.
Also, which of the women is the one that stepped forward and talked to us? Was it the
The-
Lord's woman or the...
The one in armor, yes, the armored woman. She says,
And she just said, "Well met." Did she say anything else? Or
"Nope, that's it." She just went, "Well met, travelers."
I am well met to yourself. We be on the way to...
Iron Crown.
Thank you. We be on the way to Iron Crown. Are we heading in that direction?
So, we are. I see you might be better prepared for the trek than we were. We did not think to subject beasts of burden to this, but in hindsight it might have been the better call.
Well, we have come a long way, and we don't much be liking to stay on our feet, be walking all that way.
Wise, I hope you are prepared for what you might find when you reach Iron Crown.
And what might we find?
Well,
I'm from a faraway land.
well, the city is not all that forgiving these days. Entrances are guarded, and they are very wary of outsiders.
Always been wary about.
Is the armor and weapons that you took from the guards, are they in the card visible?
They are, but
Okay.
they're covered up.
Alright, because if there's anything available, I'll point at them and say, their guards do not concern me.
No, they're covered up. You'd be pointing at what looks just like a bundle of just stuff.
I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna assume they know what it is. Let's go.
How do they react to that?
Coeli is still in the cart. Is there a
Oh,
chance that Primo points towards Coeli instead? And she's just like,
Well, I mean,
"Eh."
she's just generally pointing, so
Yeah.
yes, technically pointing at Coeli.
Coeli's gonna wave very awkwardly, like, hi.
yes.
The one with the loot waves back.
I like the one with the loot.
We all seem to be heading in the same direction. Mayhaps we can be travel acquaintances until we get there.
Well, I wouldn't want to slow you down. You clearly have your means. We would only be a burden.
The card can structurally hold at least a few more people, unless I use it, which I do not. So you wouldn't be slowing us down technically.
And besides, you don't seem to have a lot of water. We wouldn't want y'all to be tuckering yourselves out.
Goes, well, that's
There's a lot of desert to go.
that's very generous of you. As she finishes talking, the woman with the loot goes, generous indeed, and immediately runs over and hops in the cart.
But scooches over.
I'd roll up the parlay flag and start sticking it in the back.
The woman kind of looks to her other three companions and just kind of shrugs and goes, very well, I'm not one to turn down a helping hand. My name is Serenaya.
Oh, wait, that's no time.
Pleasure to meet you, Serenaya. I'm Alexei.
I be First Mate Shakma the Dreadful, Slayer of the Kraken, Fighter of Wizards. Perhaps you've heard of me.
Goes, well, I have now.
Just the other day, my crew and I saved some naiads from the clutches of a controlling old wizard.
Well, we are clearly in the company of great and powerful adventurers. It is our honor.
The Dragonborn claims many things, some of which are accurate.
The woman in the
Most of which are accurate.
the woman in the cart goes, so if you're first mate, who's the captain?
Not
I will be
understanding,
once I get me a ship.
not understanding the question, I want to point at Alexei and say that the dwarf probably holds rank in an army. I only attained sergeant, mostly so that property abuse was not an issue.
Yeah, unfortunately, Primo, you are wrong. I've never been in army. It is not a family business. But I appreciate you thinking as much. But
This information is surprising.
So
Alas,
join
the
us in the cart. What is your name?
she says, oh, well, my name is Sybil.
Pleasure.
civil or civil?
Sybil.
Hold on.
She says, I am traveling storyteller, singer, actor extraordinaire.
Oh, a storyteller. Boy, do I have some stories for you.
Well, I look forward to hearing them. Saranaia goes, my companions are Ascalon, and she motions to the Triton. Eurodial, as she points to the slighter man with the rapier. And she says, and Corgan, motioning to the dwarf.
I'm sorry, what was the Triton's name again?
Ascalon.
Well, let's be on our way. Why ye be traveling to, and after we get on our way, why ye be traveling to Iron Crown?
Saranaia kind of looks at her companions and yourselves and goes, well, we go where we believe the money is. And in light of recent times, we believe the most lucrative location would be an Iron Crown. Well, with all of the talk of war and expansion, there's clearly work to be had for mercenaries.
Sensible, yes. That would be where work would be for mercenaries, though. Also, with talk of expansion, it seems as though those being invaded would have use for mercenaries now.
True, but I would like to put my money where I believe the winning would happen.
Also understandable.
Can I look at Sonia and see how she's reacting to this?
Sure, make an insight check.
Oh, this is going to be so good. So high. Let's go. That's a 16, Jeff.
Okay, she seems pretty controlled and calm. The only thing you notice is that her knuckles appear to be bright white.
Yeah, figured as much. Although, I'm not actually going to say anything because I don't want to fight this early. Player Sam interrupted the character if he really wanted to. Was just going to mention that out loud, but won't.
Yeah, you're
feel like-
practicing discretion.
I
It looks
feel
like that
like-
heart
I
to
feel
heart
like-
worked.
I feel like Alexi. Oh, yes, no, I know what I'm going to do. I whisper Sonia, message Sonia with, this unit has noticed your elevated breathing and tense grip upon your own clothing. This unit's limited understanding of human behavioral patterns suggests stress. In the interests of discretion, I am not saying this out loud, but wanted you to know this unit had noticed. You may reply to this message.
The only reply you get is, mind your own business.
Suddenly Prima turned into Baymax.
You gonna offer her a hug?
No, I'm just very interested in why the humans are all sat in the back and one of them's really angry. This is fantastic. I'm conducting social experiments. It's great. I'm trying to blend in, guys. I'm being normal. How am I doing?
All right. Anything else you anything else you guys wish to do at this moment
Yeah,
before
I'll agree
you
any day now.
force me to have like 6-way NPC conversation?
I'm going to start telling some stories
Okay.
to Sybil. I'm not going to put you through me telling hours and hours and hours worth of stories.
That's fine.
I've just realised something that I want to do. She plays the lute, right?
That you can see, yes.
Guess who also plays the lute?
Why do you play the lute?
It's part of Inheritor. I've got to pick an instrument.
And here I was gonna guess it was Alexi.
Uh,
Yeah. to ask Sybil a question at some point and be like, I see you are also a musician.
Yes. Among other talents.
How can I phrase this in a funny way? Boast noted. At which point I will equip my lute and say, I would like to sing you a song about the flames of order.
Let me sing you the song of my people.
Yeah. And what happens is 32 has excellent technique and timing, but it's incredibly rigid.
I was gonna say, do you play like an expert rendition of Chopsticks on the lute, basically?
It would be like if you listened to like a music box, you know, like the music box, and it was playing something really hard, like Beethoven's like symphony, but the timing was done perfectly, so perfectly that it has no feeling. It just sounds pretty, but there's no soul, and it happens, and then it would be a bit weird. I just really like that idea. Plays amazing lute that's just so devoid of feeling.
The only thing that are moving are her fingers
Yeah.
and her wrist. There's no.
Yeah. There's no movement. It's just, and then it finishes.
Sybil gives you a big round of applause. Your Rodiel makes a offhanded comment that he thinks his soul just died.
Perfect. To which do I hear that?
Probably he wasn't hiding it.
Then I can say, the death of the soul is not a concept this unit fully understands, but was not intending to inflict any damage upon anyone with a musical instrument. However, if you wish damage to be inflicted upon you in a friendly manner, I am very well equipped to do so.
They all look very concerned at all of you at that statement.
Just because we have a BDSM sex robot.
These guys and their conservative attitude are really starting to cramp this party, okay, guys?
Yeah.
Prima. That's not really normal behavior. Most people don't go seeking out injuries or providing them for that matter.
The Coeli unit and the dwarf did so this morning.
For reasons.
This will be a conversation had at another time in the interests of discretion.
Anyone willing to listen, here's a shock moment under his breath. I didn't think they were into that kind of thing.
Okay. So, as your journey continues for the remainder of the day, all seems well. You regale everyone aboard with the stories of your exploits, Shakma. Sybil is wrapped in all the details, periodically even taking notes, and seems to be like trying to come up with musical accompaniment for various things on the fly. Sonia remains pretty quiet and aloof for most of it, looking mildly uncomfortable but not making any kind of scene. Serenia the dwarf and Ascalon just kind of keep to themselves and periodically seem to be like just looking ahead and look to be just having idle chit chat.
I would like to ask that trio what they meant when they said that Iron Crown was not being very welcoming towards outsiders anymore.
Generally, from what I understand, is that now anyone entering the city is usually investigated for why they're there, political affiliations. They've been gradually stepping up and trying to stamp out anyone who they think will be trying to undermine Kuvrik's rule. And as there's been a assassination attempt recently that I understand, it was foiled. So they're now very much on the alert for others trying the same.
It's disconcerting. How long ago was this assassination attempt?
Oh, I don't know. We managed to get word of it, so I don't know. Probably a week or two at least. So where are you guys coming from? You said you're coming up from Sandalvar?
We actually never said where we were coming from.
Well,
And
she's
I
asking.
know Shockmall will be very, very careful not to mention that's where they're coming from until he gets to that part in the story.
I mean, you guys did mention besting a wizard.
That is fair. They did mention that.
But
Prima here and I are both looking for things that are personal to us. It seems like we might have a lead north of Iron Crown.
oh,
Shockmaw is seeking a ship, and Coeli is Coeli.
I see. And your silent
I
friend.
go where the wind takes me.
Sonia.
There not be that much wind today. That's why she's on the ground.
It's true. Coeli, not Sonia. Sonia's, she does not fly like Coeli. But she is traveling. She's come a long way to see Iron Crown. She has heard of the splendor of expansion similar to you.
I see.
Well played.
Gotcha. Well, then maybe we'll have the privilege of working with her once we get there.
Indeed, you may well run into each other.
This unit would like to open a line of inquiry with the strangers that have entered the party. I say it exactly like that to them.
Pretty much, just in case.
Yeah.
Have you?
I have a feeling you're getting your wings ready to just...
Don't bother.
Have you heard of the Mermaid's Rest? It apparently serves the greatest food on all of the planes.
Ascalon says, "I doubt that."
The proprietor was insistent I spread this information. Having no need to eat, I cannot verify it, but he seemed earnest.
Sybil goes, "Oh, so it's really good, huh? So are you like, does he pay you for advertising?"
The purpose of the Warforged is to follow instructions. He was very
That is
insistent.
a no.
Yes.
Ah, I see. Interesting.
Charlie's wings sort of deflate. They're like, okay, we're fine.
Further line of inquiry. Guys, I'm not going to end.
Say that now.
The strangers are mercenaries. Have they ever heard of the 812th Expeditionary Regiment of Medusa's Gaze?
No. Can't say that I have.
Has any of the strangers heard of High Magistrates Selena von Draconi?
They all kind of affirm no.
No further questions.
Sybil goes.
I rest my case.
Sybil goes, "You're a really odd lot. I like you."
This unit was built this way.
I agree. She can be a little much to get used to. but after a day or two, she's less odd.
All right. So yeah, the rest of the day passes. The sun begins to set. Do you press on through the night? Do you make camp? Since technically you have a warforged. Granted, you also have the donkeys to think of.
So let's make a camp. Yeah.
Most sensible with the donkeys to stop for the night.
Okay.
We don't want them to step in a hole and break their legs. I've heard that's bad for horses in the lake.
That is understandably unpleasant.
As the when we get to the point where we sleep, unless you guys want to talk about anything, I'm going to make a point of shepherding our party together in a separate area, and then make a very pointed. I'm not trying to hide it at all, but I cast alarm around the group of the donkeys, and then stand facing the other group, like anyone else, and then shut myself off.
It's not unreasonable to sleep in separate areas.
Well, I guess I'll watch this direction then. I hope you have a good night. I'll see you in the morning.
All right. So each group just keeps
Behind
to
the
itself.
tree, so Ellie will make a nest out of sand.
Oh, also, unless she massively protests, Sonia has now been included in the group and is grabbed at the same time and moved into the area.
She does not resist camping with your group. The other five also seem to have no problem with this and quite happily set up a camp with just the five of them a little
Yeah.
ways away from all of you.
While I don't want it to be read aggressively, I would be making not a point because I don't really understand the means of it, but as a, socially awkward war machine, I would be very obviously faced towards their group, deactivated, watching over them the entire night.
Okay. Anything you guys wish to do with your evening?
I'm on
I
guard.
would like to check in on Sonia,
Okay.
see how she's doing with the secondary party.
Okay. So you're just gonna walk up to her? Okay. She goes, yes. What?
Hey.
Hmm?
I was asking, are you okay?
Yes. I just don't trust those who are willing to throw theirs in with the conqueror. Lost you there.
Oh, sorry. I was like, my village is not far from Iron Crown. It's part of why I left. It was because of the expansion.
Oh, so you are familiar with this area.
More than I would like to be.
I see. And what led you to venture from your home?
Started as thinking that I could help. And then realizing I probably did more harm than good.
Hmm. Well, your motives are commendable, and whatever steps one takes along the way are merely steps towards one's end. What you think may have caused harm may, in fact, just be a step towards your eventual success. It has clearly led you to those who support you here. As unusual a bunch as it may be.
Hopefully laughed at that.
Yes, we
Listen, that's twice. The third time, this be fighting words.
If Alexi actually says that, I'm gonna turn around and be like, I'm having a moment here.
Oh, I did.
I don't think Spark. I don't
You
think
like
Spark
your
is
say
weird.
that we're weird. On my guard duty right now.
I mean, it's-
How loud is this conversation?
Not very.
I
Mine
would hope
be
not,
like,
considering some of the things that have been said. But
Yeah, no.
mine was like from the sleeping bag. Yes, yes. We're strange, okay?
to be fair, it's mostly two of you.
hey, a Russian dwarf is not that strange.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I know. The two of us are quite normal. There's a really weird strength rogue and a very odd robot. Please continue.
Yes.
Please continue.
She goes, so, with your quest to obtain these blades, what do you intend to do with them once they are found? Just turn them over?
Her beak on her feathers. Yeah, that's a good point. I haven't really thought it all the way through.
Because if the stories of those blades are true, those could be pivotal weapons to turn the tide against Kuvrik.
Oh, yeah.
I can already see where this is going, and I hate you for it, Andrew.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, continue.
So, I was not with you when you began this, but I do want you to consider the bigger picture. That perhaps these could be put to use rather than turned over to whoever or whatever sent you on this road.
Well, I know Kubrick won't get them. That part, I know.
Well, if you're looking, he might be as well.
Find them first.
Well, if you do, I hope you are able to beat any of his agents to it. I shudder to think of a world where he has that kind of power at his hands.
Brother stands up and goes to her little sand nest.
Okay, your little sandcastle. All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Then I guess whoever's staying on watch, just give me some perception checks.
Gotcha. Multiple perception checks, or just a single
J-
one?
just one.
So good.
Send that one for a 5.
And Prima.
Is it better? Is it better that I rolled higher and got lower? I rolled a 5 for a 4.
So the two of you are able to notice that the other party also seems to set a watch throughout the night. It kind of rotates through.
Set it.
Sure.
Well, same vein, but that's a 7.
Make a perception check just to see.
If you could roll better.
Sand in our eyes. We all have sand in our eyes. We're not used to this desert.
It got so dark, and then it gets so bright. It's just,
I think I've done like the Sentinel's Watch thing, like wrong. I haven't read my instructions right, and I actually just switch off.
All right.
Assuming this is morning, can Coeli do like a morning flyover?
Sure.
Because I really just want to make a perception check and see how bad it is.
Yeah, sure. Make
Okay.
your...
19.
All right. You fly up in the air and do a once-over. You see...
Aerial view, baby.
You see a lot of desert. You can see the row of stakes leading.
Man, it gets everywhere.
I hate it.
No,
We're going down this rabbit hole again.
no.
Every time.
You see the row of
I
stakes
don't think so.
going north and south. The other camp is still there, and as normal, the first one up appears to be Serenaya. Other than that, nothing seems out of the ordinary. So, you guys just packing up and
Yep.
grabbing a quick bite and rolling out?
Yep.
Okay. The other group does the same. The last one they're able to rouse is Sybil, who gets practically, like, thrown in the cart.
I have a feeling she was drinking last night. She seems like the kind that wants a little wine before bed.
I have a feeling that Sybil is based off my sleeping habit.
But alright. But yeah, eventually you guys all pack up your campsites and you get the cart ready to go and you begin rolling. So I guess if Prima is still pulling the cart, give me a roll that d20.
You guys will never learn. Let's go.
Is it actual perception check or is it just D20?
It's-
I think the D20 is actually better.
It's just a roll.
Okay.
It's a 13, gentlemen and ladies.
A 13. Okay. So you get traveling for about 3 or 4 hours when you notice that the horizon to the east begins to kind of get darker, and you can see no sky, and it is getting closer very quickly.
Out of character, I know what this is. In character. Do we all see this, or is this
Oh, yeah.
a Prima thing?
Oh no, you all see it. That Prima wasn't rolling to see. Prima was rolling to see what happens.
Looks like we might be getting some reprieve from all this heat here in a bit.
I think this is a sandstorm. I'm going to go ahead and
Oh,
I
it
don't
100%
understand.
is.
I don't understand these things. I'm going to go ahead and see that thing, decide it's a threat, and cast Mage Armor.
Okay.
So, anybody have any idea how far from Ironcrown we are now?
You still can't see it.
Can I make a survival check to read the map
Sure.
to see how far away we are? Do I get advantage for piracy?
I sure.
Do have
Sure.
proficiency with navigator's tools. As well.
Your long experience with maps, sure, we will give you advantage.
Okay.
For your long experience with maps.
I'm glad you gave me that advantage because the first die I picked up rolled a 6, and the second one is a 12, so that's a 12.
Okay. You think you're still probably a good 20 miles away?
If we were to just book it, would we beat out this storm that is coming towards us?
Well, being as you've made it very clear you are unfamiliar with sandstorms, you don't know.
Okay. Because he did ask how. So did you ask how far or how long? How long it would take?
How far?
How far? You said 20 miles, 12 miles.
About 20.
It'd be about 20 miles that way.
Because that does not look good. That looks like a storm of some sort, and I feel like wind in these conditions is unpleasant. I think we can make it sufficient time.
What kind of speed are we moving? It's like 4 kilometers an hour as a walking thing, but we're probably quicker than with donkeys, so that they can keep it constant throughout the day. I reckon we're probably like half a day or something away, right?
You're several hours away, yeah. Like, probably
Oh, so
5.
We're probably not going to beat this, whatever is approaching us.
Now we're getting hit by this sandstorm. Also, I rolled for it, and it happened in the last game, so we're getting hit by this sandstorm. Let's go.
No metagaming, Sam.
I would like to compare Gust, one of my cantrips. And
Okay.
if it gets to us, I can just like cantrip it kind of in like a bubble away from us.
Okay.
So, at this point, is it close enough that I can tell it's something not good?
Yeah, I mean, as a sailor, it looks kind of like a squall of sand.
Prima, stop this ship, or cart.
I prefer that you send ship, and I will definitely look at you and say, "This is not a ship. It has been stopped."
Oh, that was fully in character.
Oh, great.
Shockmaw said ship, cart.
Okay.
I get out, start setting up the shield and armor that we have as kind of a makeshift lean-to.
Okay. The 5 people you're traveling with get out and get under the cart now that it has stopped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like lean-to up against the cart, kind of
Mhm.
to stop it from coming into us. Hopefully.
Okay.
I have seen my mistress.
This is when he's gonna kill the donkeys. You're gonna kill the donkeys now, aren't you? We don't have any way to hide them.
I've seen my mistress deal with storms one time before, and she did it by looking very impressive. So I just pose very imposing towards the storm, and then lock all of my joints so that I do not move.
I'm gonna start pulling Prima under the cart.
Like I can promise you, being pretty does not make it go away.
Alexi, help me with this.
Prima, underneath the carts. That's where you should be, most likely.
Okay, trusting simply because I do not know the requisite spells that my mistress deployed.
Out of curiosity, Prima, do you have a way to shape Earth, maybe dig a hole underneath the cart?
I mean, out of character, no. I'm actually not very good at that. But as a
I like the brief pause.
Well, I was just checking in case I had something cool, but I've literally just done what I did, which is living weapon, everything does damage. But I do have a 16 strength, and I'm probably quite tireless in digging, so could just use my hands.
That is alright. Without massive movement of sand would be potentially difficult to not then be covered up by it.
Yeah, sensible. Yeah, No, I have nothing useful, unfortunately.
Sonia unravels one of the tents and throws the canvas over the donkeys and holds it down with them in the front.
Does it look like she needs another hand?
I mean, another hand probably wouldn't hurt.
I will join her with the donkeys.
Okay.
Take it down with some of my rope and pittance.
Which the storm is coming from our side, right?
Yes, it's coming from the east.
Okay. So let's say Coeli is like facing it and trying to like gust it, sort of
Mhm.
over and away. Could we turn the cart laterally so it's
Facing
not
into
quite
the
so
storm.
wide an area?
Yeah, you guys can redirect the cart.
And then Coeli will stand at whatever that like on the storm is coming towards.
She will take Shockma's spot on the prow of the ship.
Yeah.
That's actually a good idea that Shockmore did, and I will steal it, is that I also have rope and pittance, and I am going to attempt to, like...
Well, I will say the rope will help, the pitons will not, because it's sand.
The Shockmaw would be trying to use it like an anchor.
Mm-hmm. Still, you've got very little purchase to work with. But can I get everyone to make Constitution saving throws?
Oh god. Okay, that's a 12.
Oh no.
Also a 12.
A 5.
21.
Of course.
I'm used to the elements.
Okay. All of you that did not roll over a 16, you will take 4 slashing damage, except for Coeli, who will only take 1 because of your gust deflection.
Only 1?
Nice.
Yes, you are taking 1 slashing damage. Your windshield is not perfect, but it definitely helps.
This is like some rad, almost like Tai Chi-ish, where she's just like,
You do some waterbending moves.
She's airbending.
I'm not sure which actual like form it would be though. Like technically it's
Go-
airbending,
go.
but I'm not sure what martial art form it is.
I know Tai Chi is waterbending, but I don't know what
Yeah.
airbending is.
Bagua is airbending, but I'm talking about like what Coeli is doing, not
Yeah.
the forms of
All right, so you guys are battered and bludgeoned by this oppressive wave of sand for about 30-40 minutes of just solid sand and wind just battering and filling the air around you. You can't see.
I love that Gust is a cantrip.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Gust of Wind is not, but Gust is.
That's why you can do this. And then eventually it begins to peter out and it moves on. You guys find that most of the cart has been kind of semi-buried at this point. All of you underneath are kind of like inside of a sand castle and beginning to try and dig your way out.
Gust it all away.
All right. Everyone seems mostly none the worse for wear. People seem a little red in the face. Definitely a bit sandlogged.
I'm gonna check the water barrel, see if sand got in there. It should, if it's sealed tight enough, to be watertight, but
Your water barrel's still okay.
excellent.
Were you about to have? Were you thinking about purifying?
I mean, if I had to, yeah.
Drink sand.
Well, you could. You just might not want to.
Yeah, probably wouldn't go terribly well,
I think it would be kind of like the cinnamon challenge.
but worse. But yes, shall we be back on our way?
Yeah, that's suggesting.
Let's get a move on.
I'll immediately start the cart up again.
Yep, everyone else kind of gets up and shakes himself off and agrees. Sonya wraps the tent canvas back up. See, I didn't kill your donkeys, Tyler.
You're just trying to lure us into a false sense of security.
Only because he bitched.
I'm watching you. Not just because you're the DM.
All right. You continue on the oppressive heat until eventually, at first, it almost seems like a mirage with the heat. You can see something breaking the horizon up ahead. And then, as you get closer, da-da-da-da-da, oh, come on, roll 20. Work near here. There we go. You see the city up ahead. It is a very large walled structure. The walls are very unwelcoming. They seem to have been forged out of both clay and stone as well as metal, which has led to these braces that end in tall spikes around the walls, which make the walls appear like a giant crown. You can see there is kind of like a large gathering of people at the entrance. Well, you didn't really see many people at all on your travel here, apart from the 5 that you have joined up with. There does seem to be a group of about 20-30 people trying to get in and very slowly being allowed into the city.
I see why they call it Iron Crown.
It's a very appropriate name.
So,
Well, I mean, unless I'm told to stop, I'm going to continue moving the cart forward into whatever's ahead of us.
okay.
I'm
What?
going to assume captain position.
I love that this cart has a captain position at this point.
Scoot over a little bit so that he's not standing direct. I just view it as front board where I'm sitting, and then he's standing in the back of the cart with his foot up on the front, like, lip.
Yep.
That's exactly what's going on. Yep.
Yeah, just like,
You wouldn't have to scoot over. I would make sure that my foot's not interrupting your sitting position. No one wants a foot in their back.
So when you reach the group of people, Prima, are you just gonna plow through them, or are you going to stop and wait at the people?
As we approach, I'm going to
we're
start.
inside there, but we're inside also. Before everyone panics, I'm going to start a war. See, I happily destroyed those guards before because they were attempting to assert their control outside of their jurisdiction. We're inside their borders now. They have jurisdiction, and I will listen to them. So I definitely respect their authority here.
As
So
we
I would
approach,
slow.
as we approach the city, Shockmaw's gonna pull out his scimitar and start yelling, make way for Shockmaw and his crew.
Put that down, Shockman, please.
I'm trying to make a way here. I will roll an intimidation if you would like. I am bellowing this, brandishing atop this.
We'd like to be able
Donkey
to get into the
driven
city
cart.
and not be stopped at the gates.
Okay. You can go ahead and roll your intimidation. As you're doing this, the 5 people you met up with jump the fuck out of the cart.
That is a 19.
Okay, you watch the people in the area around you kind of go, wait, what? And proceed to kind of shimmy out of the way. It seems to be a mixture of pilgrims, merchants, kind of a very disparate group of folk. As the people nearest move out of the way from your demand that they part for your donkey-led cart, a guard kind of forces his way through and goes, "What's all the racket then?"
Once we reach the front, I'm gonna put my scimitar away.
Oh, so you haven't gotten to the front. He's come to meet you. You started to make your way through, and then one of them came to you to want to know what the hell is going on.
Well, I guess I'm gonna put my scimitar away as he approaches then.
Okay. It's like, what? What? Yes?
Hey, please pay him less mind than you are inclined to. I understand. But we are trying to pass through to Kareth. And going through the city would obviously be the quickest way. We were hoping to be able to do that.
He says, yes, people are being let in. You gotta wait your turn. We gotta make sure that there's nothing going on.
Understandable. Bring up back to the back of the line, please.
I'll just immediately follow that instruction.
Coeli, were you trying to say something?
Yes. As soon as we come into view of the city, Coeli puts her cloak and hood up.
Okay.
As Alexi is having this conversation with the guard, I lean forward to Prima and go, "See, Prima, this is what making an entrance gets you. You're able to find out who's in charge and maybe get something from it."
I was wondering where that was going. I was like, you're just told to go back to the back of the line. What did it get you?
Interpretive demonstration noted.
Okay. So the other 5 you traveled with do not meet back up with you after your display. It takes about another 30 or so minutes before you get to the front, where the guard goes, "Oh, it's the loudmouth. All right. What you got in the cart? What's your business here?"
Yeah, well, as I said to your companion, we are traveling through trying to get to Kareth. In the carts, some supplies. We have little rations through the desert, water, some wares to sell. That actually we, since you are only here at war, some of the things might be useful.
As I see, and what business do you have in Kareth?
Gareth, well, you may have noticed our strange friend here. I'm gesturing to Prima.
He looks over
Noted.
and goes, "Uh-huh."
She is seeking others of her kind, and we have reason to believe that if we can get to Kareth, we can potentially get some more information about it.
I see. And what is your kind?
Oh,
which point immediately I will turn to face him. The heels pop out, but like parts of my body like open up and flare, and like lightning or fire might pop out from it. My eyes like glow, and I simply say, "This unit is a very rare specimen. Unit number 32 of the Primarch archetype Thor-mechanical tactical individual line."
I see. Okay. And what about the rest of you? Names and where are you actually coming from? Are you where do you herald from?
I am from Rockholm, down south. You may be familiar with it. I haven't been home in a while. But that is, if you can't tell from my accent, my place of origin.
He's a dwarf, can't you tell?
I was able to tell. Thank you. And
Children of God noticed.
and you, motioning to Shakma.
Well, you see, I never knew my parents. So I'm not really sure where I'm from. But
I did not know that about you, Sarah. I'm very sorry.
We stand there an hour as Shockmaw gives his entire life story.
oh no, I can't do that. I'm a pirate.
I really hope that Shockmore gives a different version of his origin to everyone that asks. He's like Joker. Wanna know how I got these scars? Just
Wanna know how I got these R's?
I just want him to get. I want him to get out like a pencil and put it on the on the trailer and be like, "Let me show you. Let me show you a magic trick. Oh, it's gone." It's just,
the only magic trick Shockmaw can do. Well, I never knew me parents. I was an orphan boy, raised on a ship in the southern seas. It's kind of hitting me on the head deep here.
It's okay, friends. We are here for you.
the guard seems to have caused considerable emotional stress and duress to the Shockmore unit. Would it now apologize in line with mortal customs?
The guard kind of looks at you and just goes, "No."
Refusal to polite notice.
He says, What about you, Aarakocra?"
I've traveled around a bit. Most recently, Letitia.
I
She's
see.
trying to keep her head like a little down.
Like I see, the Southlands. All right, and looks into the back of the cart and goes, "What about you?" And Sonia just kind of looks at him and goes, "I herald from Heldon's Hall. These kind folks invited me to see the grand sights that was Ironcrown. I did not believe they could be as grand as they said." And he goes, all right. And meanwhile, the other guard kind of goes around and rifles through your equipment, opens up your barrel of water, checks everything out, and goes,
Don't you be getting any sand in there. That'd be drinking water.
and they go, all right, you can pass through.
Spasiba. Just so that we don't have to delay too long in your fine city, would you recommend any place for getting a boat to take the river down to Gareth?
I don't know, you'd probably want to go check out down at the main market would be your best bet if you're looking for for something along those lines.
This unit would like to open 2 lines of inquiry with the guard.
Mm-hmm.
Line of inquiry number 1. This city seems to be named as a misnomer. I see no iron nor any crowns.
He says, well, I didn't name the city. You can take that up with Kubrick.
Very good. Suggestion noted. Second line of inquiry.
Wait.
Have you been to the Mermaid's Rest? It serves the greatest food in all of the material plane.
As I can't say I have, but I'll keep that in mind.
Please do. The owner was quite insistent.
He kind of very hurriedly motions for you to just get in the city.
I'll do that.
Okay, inside, you see that the city is mostly kind of mud, clay structures, predominantly one story, but there are some higher. You can see there's a fortress kind of set very much in the center with tall spires, and again, that whole kind of imposing spiked aesthetic to it.
Did he build this place, Doomrick, or did he find it and multiply it? Just out of interest.
You don't know. You are 3 years old.
I was just asking.
I feel like that's a history check. See if you read it somewhere.
Well, he didn't read it somewhere.
I'm very unlikely to have read it anywhere. If it doesn't involve killing stuff, I'm probably going to cut.
If one of you wants to make a history check.
So, do you ask this out loud?
No, actually, that was just kind of me just wondering if we were going to the Dragon Age, like, Tevinter thing with the, oh, we found this cool city, it looks really imposing, let's not change any of it, it's a pain in the arse, or whether Kubrick literally built the Iron Crown to be this nasty.
That was Lornard Sam trying to.
Yeah, that was Lord Nerd Sam getting into the lore of the world and then was then told to get bent, so fair play.
Yeah, Lornard Sam should have his character go read a book.
This character has read books on magic, because that's what I kill things with.
Read a book, read a book, read a book.
So, you are in the city. Where would you like to go?
Well, I think attempting to find the market as directed by the guard would be the way to go for
Yep.
now.
Okay. You're able to navigate your way through with fair ease to find what is known as the Merry Market. It is a large spread out place with numerous stalls, and there is kind of like a small little setup along the river with kind of like a causeway.
Are there any places that look like they are selling or renting boats, or
Well, yeah, so I mean, there's like a little like causeway up against the river, like so. There's a little like not quite a dock because it's clearly not meant for like steady travel, but
Right. Well, we approach that causeway.
oh, okay. This rather rotund individual sees you and goes, "Ah, hello. What can I interest you in? You look like
We be looking for a boat.
ah. Well, then you have come to the right place. What are you looking for a boat for? Are you looking to do business or pleasure?
We just need to go to Karen.
Ah, so long journey, huh? All right, I can probably get you a craft. Is it just the 4 of you?
5 of us. And our donkeys.
And the cars.
Actually, do we still need the donkeys?
The
Well,
donkeys are
first
coming
question: has Sonia just disappeared on us?
That's
No,
my question.
no, but she is kind of maintaining a distance.
Yeah, we have one more to finish.
Says,
That was in character. I look back. Do we still be needing the donkeys?
It
Quite
would be wise
possibly
to take
no.
on mode of. It would be wise to take on mode of transport with us.
Well, if,
Traveling by boat for a while, so we won't need them for a while. So perhaps we should sell them here and maybe get others later.
that does seem like the prevalent course of action.
I've seen some of the swine around these parts that they call beasts of burden. Ours are in much better shape. We can get a good amount of coin for them.
Initiation of commerce. Noted.
why is everything a phase?
I don't know. Why do mortals do it this way?
Okay. So are you looking to sell the donkeys?
Well, so we're having this conversation. Does he react to us kind of putting our heads together and talking like this? Does he overhear us saying these things?
I mean, he's just kind of patiently waiting. He's not jumping in since you seem uncertain. He does seem
I'll tell you what.
he does seem a
I'll
bit.
trade you.
I say
a bit,
he does seem a bit worried at the idea of finding you a boat that will carry an entire cart and 2 donkeys in it, though.
That's a bad idea.
I'll tell you what. How about I trade you these 2 donkeys and this cart for passage for the 5 of us to, what was that?
Carrot.
To Kareth.
He says, "Well, I don't do passage, but I assume you seem like the nautical type."
I was raised on a boat. On a sheep.
Well,
The sheep.
I realized that after I said it. It is definitely supposed to be ship.
I was raised on a bat.
It was a bad sheep.
as well, then,
Oh, you've been saying ghosts. I thought you've been saying goats.
well, all right, I'll take that trade, but I'm still gonna charge 15 gold on top for the ship.
I would love to insight this guy and just make sure that he's not gonna cook the donkeys for dinner.
Insight away.
17.
So you're not sure what he's going to do with the donkeys, but he does feel like he got quite a prize.
No.
I would like to insight this guy and see if he's going to
Daddy,
take the donkeys
Hey, no.
back.
I'm defeated. The extra monster.
What? What was that?
Waiting for your son.
Yep, I know.
This is an adults only stream.
He's got headphones on.
What was that?
I'd like to insight this guy and see if he's going to take the donkeys back to his underground BDSM club and exploit them.
Oh, you nailed it. You nailed it. That's exactly what it was. Good job, Tim. You
Bam,
have
that's
found
right.
secret.
God,
No insight needed.
Iron Crown is just, it's wrong on a lot of levels, isn't it?
I
You're
would
It
like
is a
to.
hive of scum and villainy.
Truly.
you're all
Is
horrible
he about
people.
to sell us some death sticks?
Yeah.
I am not horrible. I am decidedly PG.
I would like to go to the cantina and cut someone's hand off with an elegant weapon from a
All right, the Star Wars references have reached peak. So,
from a more graceful time.
But,
are
Right.
Are you handing over the 15 gold, the cart, and the
I would like
donkeys?
to examine the boat. I'd like to examine the boat first.
He says, "Oh, certainly, certainly."
I'm going to go examine the ship
Okay, make an investigation check.
with advantage.
No, because
Is my investigation.
he's not actually going to let you in the boat.
Probably smart. I would Captain Jack the shit out of that boat. 12.
So, okay, it seems pretty sturdy. The boat he's offering you looks to be big enough to hold about six people comfortably, 8 people if you really like crammed them in. It's kind of like a big rowboat type style.
Important question. How much weight do we think these boats can carry? I'm a little bit heavier than I look.
It can carry you.
Okay, good.
I-
Step it and
Carry-
fall straight through to the bottom.
I'm not
If
setting you
there's
guys
6
up.
people and there's 5 of us. I'm assuming you're like 2 people. That's 6 people. Still pretty good.
I'm not setting you guys up for
All the time.
a lull moment of you stepping in and all of you sinking to the bottom of the river. I'm.
Step in where I step on the boat and go straight through the floor to the bottom and let the distance sum up.
Chuck Mark, we looking good, yeah?
It's a passable craft. I don't know if it's worth 15 extra gold.
Alright, then, what do you... Stop me if you do not agree with the proposal, but, sir, you may notice that in the back of the cart there is some armor and some weapons, and we were intending to sell them while we were here before we left. Would you take those in compensation for the 15 gold in addition to the cost of the cart?
He says you're offering all of that?
That's a lot more than 15 gold we've got on us there. Like, maybe he can take like 1 or 2.
He says, "You definitely have yourself a deal, sir."
I'm putting my hand on Alexi. Alexi, that might be going a little too far.
Yeah, I will yield to your judgment. You are the one who knows boats and treasure.
You know armor though. Even I can tell that armor's worth more than 15 gold.
You keep using this word. No. Like, you think I know things. I do not think I know what you think I know.
You are a dwarf. Dwarves are the best armorers in the world, right?
Yeah, me and my family is fantastic armorers.
Exactly.
There is reason I am not in family business.
While you are having this debate, you hear a series of trumpets as a rather organized, regimented group move into the marketplace, and a lot of people very quickly shy out of the way. And there's one particular individual with a long mustache, kind of long robes of kind of a deep red, trimmed in gold, who steps forward from the lot of them, looks around, sees the lot of you, and goes, "Ah! I would like to have a word with you."
He's wearing robes and
Yeah, not like wizard robes, but like think like long,
Initial robes.
like long jacket type thing. Like
wearing any armor and a visible weapon.
he does not appear to have any armor or any weapon. But this is also where we're going to take a break.
Okay.
So
Okie
so do this, and we will be back momentarily.
I'm gonna go top off my beverages and be right back, folks.
I gotta go eat.
That's 15 was
Yep, 15.
15 is
our.
the...
Cool. Just make sure.
So right before the break, we got accosted by this fella and his crew.
Yeah. Singled
Uh,
out.
Who are
Who
you?
be ye and why should we be talking to ye?
No, I can hear it.
And it's going for me.
Yeah, going for me.
Restart it on your end then.
Can I say that, given that the guy is not wearing anything I would consider armor or weapons, but is a male with a beard, when he steps in, I will announce at kind of room level that he is a wizard, and his threat level is unknown, but his core does not seem to be malfunctioning.
Unlike the last wizard that we met.
I have a sample size of 1.
Market
I mean,
sounds.
so
Market
the
sounds.
stream is coming through you. So if you got to restart it, restart it.
I'll restart it as well. Play that funky music, maybe.
Does
Why?
he answer what I said? I said, "Who be ye, and why should we be talking to ye?" Albast, you say? And why should we be talking to ye again? We
just
don't be
passing
needing much
through.
help. We just passing through. How do you know that?
I mean, we did tell the guards at the entrance to the city. And,
Oh, did we?
Yes,
I didn't remember us saying
he does
that.
appear to be the sort of man who has his ear to the ground if necessary. So,
How tall is he? Okay. I was about to make an ear to the ground reference, but you put him squarely in average height.
to where?
The Isle of Diamonds is leagues away from your city.
It
What
is just across
business
the
do you
water.
have out there?
Oh, well,
Sorry, what was that?
I was saying it's just across the water, but you're referring to Iron Crown. Well, as an advisor to his almighty conquerorness, I have interest in all the lands that extend from here.
Does he called his king Almighty Conquerorness, I want to incite him to see he's full of shit. He's not actually an advisor.
Okay.
It doesn't matter though, because my insight is ass. Yeah, fantastic. Let's not even talk about it. Just move on. I believe him. Fuck it.
Okay.
What is insight? What is it?
It's a 7. So, like, yeah.
Does he glean anything off of that?
The man seems upfront.
7. Nailed it. Let's go.
Anything that Coeli knows about this guy, either like through the grapevine or any interaction.
We'll call it a history check. Make a history check.
What did you do to me? It's a 7.
Another
7 is the number of the night.
I much prefer it when we were the 17 crew.
I did too.
The name itself doesn't ring any bells, but you do know that Kuvrik has 2 kind of like advisors and second-hand men within Iron Crown.
Have I heard whether or not they're dicks?
I mean, from your point of view, they're probably dicks.
That's kind of what I thought. Okay.
And what kind of information be you looking for?
Oh, well, I would just be interested to know exactly what happened. I don't know if you were made aware of how traumatic the events were. We heard tales that you could see the eruptions of fire and lights for hundreds of miles, which has led to great concern of what might have fell afoul of that island. Convincing people to go there has been rather difficult, so as you were already headed nearby, I thought it wouldn't be too far out of your way to take that effort on behalf of the mighty Empire.
This unit has a line of inquiry. The advisor stood in front of me. The wizard must have his own ideas as to what we are expecting. What is it you are expecting us to find?
He goes, I think you are mistaken. I am no wizard. But
You have the form of a wizard, therefore the function must fit.
He's very obviously a warlock. Come on now. Have you seen that mustache? I fully expect him to have like a twirly mustache.
oh, it's very pretty. It's fairly bushy at the top and extends all the way down to below his chin.
Okay, Warlock,
Well,
noted.
He meant you,
Have you not considered asking your patron?
Haha!
He says, no, I do not know what to expect. There could be nothing there and just a smoking crater for all I know, or it could be any manner of other untold dangers. As I said, it has been difficult to convince anyone to go that way. I would, of course, provide monetary compensation for your troubles.
And how were we to take this quest, as it were? How would we contact ye? We don't plan on coming back this way anytime soon.
Well, if you were to stop at any of the towns in the region, there would be means to reach back to me. We are all within the Empire.
Define the statement, we are all within the Empire.
It sounds like a tagline, Prima.
The borders of Galbad range from the western shore to the eastern shore and south as far as the Mirror Lake.
Okay, hold on, I'm just gonna...
That's a very large area. Also includes dwarf lands.
Is he Is that what they consider their borders, or Andrew, quickly? Is that what they consider their borders, or is that in your estimation their actual borders, like is in the game their borders, or is that what he thinks is their borders? Some of that test.
You would be aware that the capital city of Alan is currently aligned with that same kingdom.
Oh, it's aligned with what? Sorry, you.
That same kingdom. So yes, they are, as far as you can tell, all under the same allegiance.
Which technically means that I am willing to listen to them because my army was Alanian. No,
Well, you
would
were
be an interesting wrinkle.
in Alan. That doesn't necessarily mean you were Alanian, because there are always
Okay.
people with their own minds.
Okay. Who? Just so I know how to play this as lawful neutral, because I will follow the rules here. We've established this. The thought mechanics. Who do they consider boss, or are they their own thing? I don't think I ever hashed this out with you, so you're up to.
Well, you wouldn't know who their boss was because you didn't really get a long time with it. So you would consider them boss, but you would not know who they directly answered to.
Yeah, I just want to know who my army was, so I can be like, no, these guys are jerks, and I want to kill them all, or no, I should listen to them. These guys are in fact my boss.
You would be from that kingdom, and I would say that it's probably fairly well known that Kuvrik is actually Alanian in nationality.
Okay, readjusting how I roleplay towards him from now on. I am now much more favourable towards him than I was earlier.
There's a reason why he already has the tagline "The Conqueror," despite not owning the whole land.
Yep, okay. Just so I know how to play it properly,
Mhm,
because
yeah.
I've killed his guards, but they were breaking the law, so
They were
right.
they were south of the lake.
yeah, I mean, if they don't own that land and they were pretending they did, they died for it. Like, I can't do it here.
Technically, they were west of the lake. So that's kind of a gray area.
Details. But,
I rolled
moving on.
to know that I was outside of that border, so I knew
Okay.
before I did it.
What kind of compensation be we getting for this
Oh well,
outing trip?
as I am asking you to embark on a potentially perilous endeavor, I would be willing to give you, say, 1,000 gold up front, and I'd be willing to discuss what I give you upon a successful completion based on what you actually find. For I don't want to promise you lands and riches if you go and find a smoking crater in the sea.
Holly
I'll have-
has been standing back and keeping quiet this entire time, but as soon as he says 1,000 gold up front, she's like,
I'll have to discuss this with my crew. 1 second, please. And we huddle up. Alright, that's a lot of gold.
You're not wrong. It seems to me that best case scenario is to at least for now go along with this plan.
What do you think, Sonia?
Sonia is not in your huddle.
She's not in the huddle.
Sonia?
yeah,
No, she's not near us. She was hanging back.
Right. Well, she was the main reason why I wanted to huddle up. Wait, has anyone seen Sonia? Is she gonna have a problem with this?
Oh yes, I mean I wouldn't say that. Sorry, obviously.
Let me handle that. Just trust me.
We accept your terms. Give us the 1,000 gold and give us a good price for this here armor, and you're good to go. And you got yourself a deal.
He's like, well, I have no interest in this armor, but he claps his hands twice, and one of the guards literally just walks forward with a chest of gold that they obviously already had with them.
This man was trying to swindle us. Said it was only worth 15 gold.
The shopkeeper looks horrified. I made
I want
no
to
such
say
claim.
When he says that, I immediately start studying very closely the shopkeeper's face and the official's face, because I'm trying to understand how haggling works.
Interesting.
This is like
No, I
a
know.
3D
No.
chess of haggling right
Yeah,
now.
no, I'm fully aware that what you're doing is actually kind of blackmail, but this is what I consider to be haggling. 32 doesn't know, so I'm now watching this because I may attempt to adjust prices myself later, and I need tips.
He says, I was doing no such thing. They simply made an arrangement with me for the boat, and then asked if what they had in the cart would cover the extra, and I said yes. That was not a statement
I
of
asked
swindling.
no such thing.
As an interjection, the shopkeeper is telling the truth.
So is
You know you're
Shockball.
not helping.
This group is so dysfunctional.
It's a D&D group.
What do you
Is there a
expect?
functional?
Dysfunctions and dragons.
He goes,
Dungeons and Dysfunctions?
the advisor looks very uninterested in the events that are going on right now, and is like, just make it happen. Give them what they ask for it. And then he turns and leaves.
Alright. What kind of check do I need to make for this, for a reasonable price for this armor that you have?
I don't know, what kind of price are you pitching as a reasonable
I want
price?
to know the average price.
Uh,
Like this, I'm not going to offer anything just yet. I want to know what I think the average price would be.
So, like, according to the manual, armor is roughly about 75 gold. Since it's being sold secondhand, probably somewhere in the 30 to 60 range, depending on what type of haggling and condition it's in.
It has been through a sandstorm, so we'll say 30.
And death.
Yeah, and one of them was set on literal fire by an angry
Yeah,
warlord.
that just hardens the steel. Alright, so that's 30 for the armor. The shield would sell for what, 5?
About.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
About.
About? Alright. And then the spears?
I think you're looking at... Come on, D&D Beyond. Looking at normally a gold, so 6 silver.
Alright. We're just going to go ahead and round that up. Not
Carry the 12.
I'll tell you what. I'm feeling generous today, so we'll part with this for 175 gold.
Make a persuasion check.
with advantage because he said to do it.
Uh,
He said to give me what I asked.
you don't need the advantage. We're just making a persuasion check.
Okay, it's 18 on the dice plus my persuasion.
Okay.
21.
So you said 175.
Mm-hmm.
So 15 of that to cover the boat. So he agrees and hands over 160 gold.
All right.
I want to ask someone. Oh, is there guards there still, or did they disappear?
No, they left with the advisor after.
Okay. I will ask the shopkeeper then. Does he know where there could be a practitioner of magic or someone who can identify items?
Says, I don't really know much about all that, but your best bet might be Fizzle and Pops.
Okay. Can you please provide me with directions to Fizzle and Pops?
Sure thing, and he describes where you can locate it. It's actually not very far from the market district.
Okay. I would like to thank him very kindly for his service, and then I'm going to move to Fizzle and Pops because I have questions.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
Lexi does not go talk to Sonia. I will.
Oh yeah, I should probably say that I would have mentioned to the group that I'll meet them back here if they want me to, but I'm going to go to that shop because I need to ask questions of that.
Okay.
People.
I'm going to hand everyone, Sonia included,
So
26 gold.
have you found Sonia?
Currently, if she went away, we don't know where she is.
Tim, you were talking, but no sound was coming through.
Did you fix it, Tim?
I think so.
Yeah, there you go.
We can hear you now.
So what were you saying?
I thought she was just hanging back a ways away.
She was until the advisor and company showed up, and then she kind of went into the crowd.
Yep. Okay, well, do I see her anywhere around?
Make a perception check.
10.
You do not.
I'm going to start looking for her to hand her gold.
Just be like, Sonia, I got some gold for you, Sonia. Okay. So Prima, you're just making your announcement and departing once you have your gold.
Yes. Yeah. Also, if I'm
Everyone
if I'm
gets
off-
26.
If I'm off the gold, I'll probably not really understand why they're trying to give me gold and question it.
Wait, everyone only gets 26 gold?
Well, I'm not divvying up the 1,000. I'm just divvying up the 160.
Gotcha. Okay. I was like, wow, that's an interesting portioning.
Yeah, the 1,000's gonna take some time because it's in a fucking chest.
1 for you, 17 for me. You.
One for you, one for me. One for you,
Get that
two
up on
for
the
me.
boat ride.
You, 3 for me.
So, Coeli, what are you doing? Shakma's looking for Sonia. Prima's going to the store.
I'm gonna go
That
with
is a-
Prima.
Okay.
That is a 15 on the perception.
Perception.
Perception, yes.
Okay.
Still a 15.
So you are eventually able to pick her out because of her still slightly unusual garb compared to the people around here. But you can see she kind of has moved in with the crowd and appears to be watching as that group of guards and advisor left off, hand very pointedly on her sword.
Sonia. Why did you just leave like that? if you're not careful, another captain might hit you for desertion.
And if you are
You
not,
don't want to be.
if
You don't want to be lashed with the cat o' nines. Trust me.
then if you are not careful, you might find yourself in irons.
Irons. No one's ever put shock maws in iron.
That's getting agreed to.
And there goes her PG rating.
Only PG-13.
That he didn't agree to.
How have we ever?
And give
had
Sonia a
PG
wink.
rating?
she,
Oh god.
Well, Abby was holding down a PG rating pretty well. But,
I've blown that out of the water from the second we started this. I'm pretty certain.
To be fair, depending on what year we're rating, this could still be PG.
That's fair. That is very fair.
she says, well, it tells me that you have not dealt with these kind too often. They are quick to lock up those they disagree with and those they find different. I think if your conversation had gone ever so slightly different, your shopkeeper friend would be finding himself in the slave pits by morning.
I did a good thing, guys. I saved a dude.
So, you hand over...
Indeed, most troubling. Here's your cut of our what'd you call them? Our shopkeep's friends gold.
Okay. So meanwhile, Prima and Coeli, you two manage to navigate your way down the somewhat busy streets amidst a varying groups of people. Every now and then there does appear to be some people leading others along on chains behind them. You eventually find...
Kind of shuffles away from them.
Sam hates that. Prima doesn't care. That's annoying.
You eventually find your way to this rather small building. It's got a little sign up front that's very colorfully drawn that just simply says Fizzle and Pop and has like a little explosion drawn on it.
Okay, I'm going to study that and don't know what to make of it.
Coeli, for the record, the group pouch now contains 28 gold, 12 silver, 8 copper.
And a chest of 1,000.
Me and Sonia and I guess maybe Alexi will be guarding it.
oh yeah, that's why I didn't walk off to go find Sonia.
No,
I'm staying by our shit.
fair.
So, it was a look around. Huh, she's not here. Oh, what's Shockmaw doing just walking off? Okay, I guess I'll,
I mean, I would have very pointedly been like, there she is, and like, walk that way.
So you two go inside?
Yes, but before I do, I deploy my heals and posture changes, and I very much like sashay in. As I do, I look at Coeli and say, I believe the Shockmaw would say this is making an entrance, though we disagree on how that is done. And then walk in
Tyler looks terrified.
as gracefully as I can. I walk.
Oh, I was expecting you were about to kick in the door since you.
I was really hoping. I was really hoping when you said that.
A
that you would
sorceress,
kick in the door.
a sorceress does not kick in the door. I know how sorceresses behave.
So you
He follows Prima and pats her on the shoulder and is like, you did good.
You done good, kid.
So you enter, and it's a somewhat small shop. It's full of a lot of bookcases, which just to be a... It looks like a librarian's nightmare. There's just scrolls and books kind of jammed in every which possible corner of the building. There does not appear to be any rhyme or reason to any of it. As you enter, you see this very small man wearing rainbow-colored robes jump up and go, "Oh, hello, welcome. My name is Fizzle Prangs, Arcane Master,
Him.
Arcane Master Extraordinaire. Now, you might be wondering, where does the name come from? Why, that is from my assistant." And he gestures dramatically, and from out in a corner, this little pixie shows up and sits on his shoulder and goes, "And this is Papalarina. How can we help you today?"
How tall is he?
He's like 2'8".
I'm writing that down in my notes. I know I don't know these people, but I'm writing that down in my notes because I want to know these people.
I really don't know what to make of him. I mean, I think he's awesome. But yeah, I'm going to stand there and study him quietly. You can hear a ticking.
Is there smoking going on?
No, but I'm very pointedly studying them. And I say nothing.
Holds out a single feather to like shake the pixie's hand.
The pixie flies up and shakes your hand back, gives a little wave, little sparkles fall away.
Fizzle Prangs. It's his name, right?
Yes.
Fizzle Prangs. Is the pixie your patron?
This is my what?
Okay. Are you a wizard?
I am of some repute, if I dare say so myself.
Please forgive her.
No.
She hasn't been awake for very long.
Further thought is given, and then deciding that, yes, he's male. Does he have facial hair?
He does. His beard is kind of a two-pronged goatee, and he has a mustache that kind of goes out and then curls back in on itself.
Oh, perfect. And he's wearing robes, I'm assuming.
Yeah, rainbow-colored robes.
Does he have a hat?
He is not wearing a hat.
Okay, well, that's a flaw, and he's definitely not human, but apart from that, he does fit the profile, so I'm going to accept his explanation as factual. I now have a sample size of 2, and it's very much solidifying what I thought to begin with. So I will then say, as a wizard of some repute and power, I'm assuming that your scholarly knowledge allows you to identify items.
I could perhaps perform that. Have you encountered some arcane item that you are unfamiliar with?
I pick my flower out of my hair, hand it to him, and say, I wish to know what this is.
He says, well, I do not perform magical services for free, madam. If you could please part with... He thinks for a moment, and the pixie kind of comes and whispers in his ear for a moment. He goes, with 25 gold, I can tell you what your item will do.
5 gold. I will respond with,
How are you 5 short? Weren't you just given 26 gold?
I was not in the room, so I have not received it.
Well,
No, you were.
Yeah.
I made sure to hand it to
Alright,
everybody.
okay.
yeah.
Okay, well, I've just got that, and whatever it is that Shockmore has that handed me, I still got it in the pouch because I'm not sure I fully understand money, so I didn't take it or look at it, so I hand him the pouch and go, I believe this kind of currency is what you're looking for.
He opens it up and counts through and goes, yes, and hands you a gold coin back.
Okay, and I will take it and add it with the others.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure something I can count, I just don't care about money.
He says, then while I take care of this, if you have any other things that you are seeking, we deal in books, scrolls, maps, and other information. Papalarina will be happy to assist you, and I will be back shortly. And he kind of scurries off into the back with the flower.
Okay, so the pixie's still here.
Yes.
I just had a mental image of like the Scooby-Doo scurry, where like his feet move and then like his head just kind of follows along. Like,
So I'm going to message Coeli, and I know it will look strange, but again, I don't care. And I'm going to say into her head that you should probably take over the social interactions. They do appear to be a weakness of mine. You can respond to this message.
we know you said something, but nothing came through.
Oh,
Practice
Sorry.
makes perfect, but sure.
am I fixed?
No, it wasn't you. It was Abby that didn't come through, and then she repeated
Saying
herself.
came through. Abby did not.
Her mic keeps rebelling against her.
Far away.
All right, so he's not going to be back for 10 minutes. So is there anything you are wishing to peruse the shelves or discuss with Papa Larina in the course of 10 minutes?
I would like to ask Papa Lorena how she came to Iron Crown.
She says, well, so she has a very tiny voice, but she is able to speak common, and says, well, I encountered Fizzleprangs some time ago. I think 15 years ago, I think. And he was on this planned adventure to share knowledge with people, and we kind of got along really well. I find that his aesthetic and his kind of jovial nature is very fun. And so I volunteered to stay with him, and I kind of help him out with the shop and help run things whenever I can. I will say that this is not... this is not where I really wanted to end up, but the company's nice.
Not a big fan of the neighborhood.
Oh, no. I've been swatted at least twice. It has not been that enjoyable, but you make do with what you got. Didn't hear you.
I'm very sorry about that.
But is there anything I can help you with?
Yes.
I would like to peruse the shelves and just kind of see what they have. I'm not looking for anything in particular.
Okay, she kind of looks around and is like, good luck. I
Line
keep...
of inquiry. What does the... do I know what she is? A pixie?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's pretty apparent.
What does the pixie know of the Isle of Diamonds?
Not much. I know that it gets its name from the crystalline structures that were very prominent upon it. I don't know if after the big disaster, if that's still the case, but maybe now it'll be called the Isle of Explosions or the Isle of Doom. I don't know.
Naming suggestion noted.
The Isle of Explosions.
I'm trying to think of other things I want answered. Oh, crap, I've forgotten his name because I'm bad at the game, Andrew, and I didn't make notes when Wizard Dude came in and told me his name, the advisor, who I called a wizard. Someone help me.
Albast. Advisor
Oh.
Albast.
Albast.
ALBAST is what I have it as.
That there is no T.
Oh, Albast.
Alibas.
Alibas.
If you want the actual spelling, it is Alibas.
Here I was thinking it was going to be like a big mouth bass singing on the wall.
He's all about that bass.
Yep, it's Al Bass. You got it. It's a singing trout.
Albass, that's fantastic. That's what I'm going to call him. But, I'm going to ask, what does the pixie know of, I nearly called him an inquisitor, that's the wrong game, advisor Albass, sorry.
I don't really know much. We only dealt with him when we established the shop. I don't really like him, but he always seems like he's up to something.
A wise summation. I got the same feeling, but I didn't know if that was because social interactions are certainly a thing I am not programmed to deal with.
So, Coeli, is there anything you are looking for as you're perusing shelves, or anything you're hoping would jump out at you?
Not specifically. I will, of course, take note of anything that has to do with the blades of light and shadow.
Okay.
Is that what they're called?
Oh, okay. Actually, yes, I want to ask about those. What does the pixie know of the blades of light and shadow?
Says, I'm not familiar with those myself, but
Well, he freezes. She's like,
but can you give me any kind of reference point? Is this a story? Is this a place? Or is this a thing from the past?
I believe they are items.
Items.
You asked a lawful neutral character what the thing was. I'm pretty certain I'll just say, yeah, it's this.
She goes, well, I'll see what I can find, and she begins frantically zipping around the store and flipping through various scrolls and books.
She's so adorable, and I can't pretend like she is, and I hate it. It actually pains me greatly at the moment to be such an emotionless automaton.
It's about this time that Fizzle returns. He goes, I have identified your item for you. I do have a question, though.
Please proceed.
Where did you acquire this?
I will tell him, though I don't remember, I will tell him exactly, with perfect honesty, exactly what happened.
Okay.
And from whom.
Corelli will be like, we got it on an island in a lake.
He says, oh, fascinating. Yes, so this flower appears to be protected from the effects of time so that it will remain vibrant. Those who wear it are better protected against magic that would influence the mind.
Ooh. I didn't say that. That was Sam.
And if you were to crush the flower and use it upon one who is injured, it will mend wounds. But that would, of course, destroy it.
Interesting. I thank you, and I will take the flower and place it in my hair again.
Okay, you can go ahead and add a nymph charm to your inventory.
Nymph charm. Added. Activated.
So, was Papalarina able to help you, or?
Papalarina was extremely adept with everything that was asked of her.
She zips on back to Fizzle and goes, yes, they were asking about the swords of light and shadow, was it?
correct.
Phil goes, oh, like from the stories.
Correct.
Oh, what were you hoping to find? I think I have something that talks about them.
From
Into their
a
histories, trying
Yeah.
to figure out sort of what happened to them.
So,
I would like to know what they are particularly, because just because they're called a sword doesn't mean they are a sword. Though I don't know if I'd ask that question, because I think they're called the swords of light and darkness, and I think I would just think they are just swords, and that's all it could be. So yeah, I think I just want to know the history, like, and the story, and what they are, and what we think happened to them.
So
Okay.
we do already have a book. I don't know if Coeli wants to mention about this book. But that
Oh, yeah,
might help them find the information quicker.
I still don't know about that book, and I want to read it.
were you trying to do a book exchange? You're trying to trade one book for
Well,
another
I
one?
have the book.
Yeah, we don't have the book with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the title here if you want it. A brief study of objects from the void and their effects on reality.
I have a note that we read it, but for some reason I did not write down anything that we gleaned from it, and I don't know why I did that.
I would actually like to read it anyway, because I've got a really good Arcana score. I'll then get a really shit roll, and it won't matter. But I would love to read it at some point anyway, just for me. But I don't know you have it yet, so I'm never going to unless it's mentioned.
So he kind of goes off and begins flitting through all of the scrolls and books, very much in the same sort of frantic search that Papalarino is in, but he's actually throwing things off the shelves. You're gathering this is probably why it always looks like a storm went through.
He's also adorable.
Those are my notes on it.
He eventually goes, I think this is the closest I have that might be useful to you, and he pulls down a single book and offers it up. He goes, I don't know that books like this are really that popular. I'm actually quite surprised to hear people searching for the blades. I haven't heard people talking about that. I figured most of the relic seekers had given up on things like that after all of this time, but if you seek them, I wish you the best of luck. I'd be willing to part with this for, we'll say 5 silver.
Okay, I'm just going to give him the 5 silver and take the book and sling it next to the book that sits on my hip that I didn't mention to anyone, but is my inheritance that I was given, which sits on my hip. There's a very battered-looking, important, hefty tome that sits on my hip at all times, and I'm going to put it with that for now, because that's where books go. And I will deduct 5 silver from my total here. Have a look at that.
Okay.
Come on, fucking. What was the book called?
It says A History of the War of the Ancients.
Okay. I'll read it at some point, but not right now.
All right.
I don't really have any money to go looking for scrolls, because scrolls are more than 20 gold. That's all I have. So, oh, I have a scroll of haste, don't I? Still,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I do. I need to add that to my list, which I will do right now. I'm assuming that's a first level spell.
No, haste is not a first level spell.
What level spell is it?
Haste, I believe, is 3rd.
Third, isn't it? Yeah. Scroll, third level for
While this has been going on, Alexei, Shakma, and Sonia, you guys have been able to basically load up the boat, move all the supplies over, and get everything ready for travel.
Excellent.
Haste is third. Yes.
Yeah, I would conclude my business in this job. Thank them very much for what they've done, and head to the boat.
All right.
As we are leaving, I want to make a suggestion to Fizzle and Pop. Where I say, with a name like Fizzle and Pop, you really should think about making some like carbonated fizzy beverages.
Ooh.
And I'm like basically suggesting like cream soda, like flavored cream soda to them.
As I see. I'll take that under advisement. In the heat, that might be very entrepreneurial. Yes, good.
Lovely.
Instead of A and W, they've got F and P.
We actually
Pick
started
goes
to-
for a year and we'll all be drinking F&P soda.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just looking forward to Saturday's game when suddenly F&P soda starts showing up everywhere.
And they're a massive, oppressive mega conglomerate with like guys
Oh, yeah.
suits, and it's all gotten out of hand. It's gonna be great.
This is the D&D version of my cabbage core.
Yes. That, yeah. It's actually made from like Pixie's Tears or something. So Paparina's in some basement somewhere, 500 years in the future, just crying.
Also, one more suggestion. So the door closes, like the little doorbell like rings or whatever. The door is closed. I pop back in and I'm like, also pop rocks, and I run.
Okay. All right. You make your way back to the market where Shakma, Alexei, and Sonia have prepped the boat to make the trek down the river.
Now that I'm on the boat, I'm gonna take another look at it and make sure it is seaworthy.
Okay. Make an investigation check with advantage.
Make me a what check with advantage?
Investigation with advantage, since now you can actually go into all the nooks and crannies.
Alright, that's pretty good. 19.
19? Okay. You do what you consider to be a very thorough once-over of the boat. It seems to be pretty well worn, but definitely seaworthy. There does not appear to be any impending leaks or worries. It passes the Shakma water test.
It's the Shakma seal of approval.
Yeah. And so, Alexei, you said you were approaching Sonia?
Yeah. So, Sonia, I appreciate your help with loading the boat, but are you planning to come with us or stay here?
She kind of looks up towards the castle. It's like, I feel like I should stay, but perhaps your mission might prove more fruitful for what I seek.
It does seem as though, given the heightened security around here as well, it may not pan out for you as well here as it initially seemed. And we would be happy to have you along with us.
Yes, well, I would like to think that my skills are up to the challenge. I no doubt would merely meet an early demise trying to find my way to Kuvrik. But perhaps you will indeed find the blades. And maybe then you will also see sense.
Are you referring to the deal with Alabas?
No, you said you were finding them for someone else.
diamonds for Elabas. If they do not hear from us in, say, 2 weeks, report back that we have clearly been killed, and rather than sailing back there when we return to the Isle of Diamonds, we just sail southwest of Hammerin.
I like this plan.
As I fully support your efforts to deceive these warmongers.
Excellent. Yes, I just did not want you to get the wrong idea. Yes, I think I see Freeman coming. Let us get back to the boat.
Okay. So you all board your boat.
Ship.
It's a boat.
It's a boat.
Darn.
Welly is excited that Sonia's coming with us and scooches a little closer.
She just kind of gives you a brief look and then does not move away, but does not move closer. Just kind of remains sitting where she sat.
Shockmore takes the helm.
It's a boat. It literally has oars. It is a boat.
Shockmore takes the rudder.
I feel like this is like one of those moments where there's this really great adventure, heroic music, where Shockmod takes the helm and there's nothing there, and the music just stops.
But with like that tape stopping sound too, and then the camera zooms
exactly.
out, and we're on a boat.
Like, oh, okay.
All right. So
Well, I
you.
guess I'm rowing.
I will row if told to.
Who's rowing?
I might. I mean, who's strong with good constitution? Oh shit, me. Okay.
Well, not too bad, to be honest.
Maybe it is a good idea. Maybe it is a good idea if I do it.
Does Sonia look strong, right?
Sonia looks pretty beefy, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I love her.
Sonia, Alexi, forward to the sea.
So Sonia picks up an oar and then asks, "Is he going to give orders like this the entire way?"
Unfortunately, it is very
Probably.
likely.
There is a high percentage chance that the answer is affirmative.
I be the first mate after all. It'd be my job to give the orders.
Does he have to survive the trip?
Andrew, you were in the Navy. Is a first mate on a ship a higher rank than a sergeant?
Yes. First mate is literally second in command, so it is meaning that
Okay.
whatever the captain is, he is number 2.
It's like the XO. Okay.
Yeah.
The ship, basically. Thank you. Thank you.
That joke 3 times this week, so
You've heard that joke 3 times.
I didn't heard it. I thought of it
Oh, okay.
in different contexts 3 times this week.
Well, great minds think alike, and fools seldom differ.
We're one of the two.
Yeah.
I think the jury's still out.
Welly is a bird brain.
I actually don't think the jury's still out. I feel like the sentence was passed a while ago. You just didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Sorry, please continue.
But Sonia reluctantly begins rowing.
I will also be rowing.
If there's how many oars is it? Just the 2.
There's just the 2.
I'll do- Okay.
Given the size, 2 seems appropriate.
All right. you guys begin the trip. You travel for about 4 or 5 hours before it starts to get dark. You're able to brush off, leaving the city behind you. You feel you're making pretty good pace with two strong people at the oars.
This is downstream, isn't it?
Yep. And what's your strength, Alexi?
16.
Da, 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 da. Isn't Prima stronger?
No,
I think so.
I've got a 16. I've got
Okay,
a 16
so
as
you're
well.
you're
I'm a
equally
mage,
strong.
by the way.
I mean,
Yeah.
Shockma is, but
Shockmaw's got a 20.
Shakma is the strongest person in the boat, then, with a 20 strength.
So Ellie's probably strongest compared to boat density.
That's true.
But yeah, so do you guys can decide to stay on board your boat as it gets dark? Do you choose to...
it is
Well-
probably best to.
Not
Land.
being familiar with the river, I would probably beach the boat.
Let's anchor it.
Okay, make a perception check for me. Shakma, since I guess you're the one guiding.
Assist.
Man, my perception checks are on point for the most part. So
Well, you also get advantage, because Coeli is apparently helping you.
Advantage?
Yeah, Coeli's... she quickly called out assist as you were rolling.
Gotcha. Alright. That is a 21 perception.
Okay. So you notice that most of the shoreline that you're passing and looking to stop is the usual just sand and dunes as far as you can see. You do notice that one of the places you're coming up to, there's actually kind of a large structure of bone coming out of the ground. Kind of looks like a rib cage of a dead creature of some kind.
I am 100% in favour. I'm 100%
Does
in
it-
favour of going to the elephant's graveyard.
I was about to say, does it look like it would be a good place to camp for the night? Like it would be shelter, perhaps?
I mean, it's a structure.
Alright, I'm gonna guide the boat towards it.
Okay. So you guys pull up along the sand. I assume Prima, Alexi... Actually, we were so many strong people except for Coeli. Some collection of you drag the boat ashore.
I'll do it if I'm asked, otherwise I'll just be stood around looking very demure.
I don't know if
Ellie gets
Shockmaw
some
would
grape
ask you.
soda and says, "You did it."
They haven't invented it yet. Coeli.
Alright, so you managed to bring the boat ashore.
And I guess we're gonna start setting up camp after. Yeah, I'm gonna scout around just a little bit just to make sure we're safe-ish.
Okay, well, so scout around how? Just like examining the area? Are you going to go check out the bones? What type of scouting are you doing?
Yeah, let's check out the bones.
Okay, so you go into the bones. From what you can see, they do look to be like large, like probably like a rib cage. As you make your way in and check them out, you even like are able to like how thorough are you going to touch them, or are you just like what do you? Just so I know what you're actually examining.
Well, first off, I'm looking for like if anyone's been around, and like because I'm assuming it's sandy, so like
Yep.
looking for footprints, and I might knock on a bone or two just to see if it collapses
Okay, yeah, you
with
see.
me under it, which is probably not the best idea, but Shockmaw doesn't have that good wisdom, so
You see no sign of any footprints or anything. Everything seems pretty nondescript. You give a bang. It sounds like bone. It remains standing.
right. I poke my head out and go. It looks like these are sturdy enough to house us for the night.
Okay. So you guys are gonna make camp inside the bones?
Is the yeah, sure. I was gonna say, where's the like main point of ingress, like where Chopper went, or is it just like pretty open?
It's all. I mean, it's all pretty open. Like, obviously, there's like what you would assume would be the butt of whatever died, and then the head, because obviously there's like a taper to it.
Yeah. So I'll stand in like whatever looks like a natural choke point, and that's where I'll go to sleep, so that I can
Okay.
guard most effectively. But before I do, I want to
Well-
read the book I
Well,
picked up.
before we get there, which one of you's the first one in?
That'd be Chopper.
Shakma? Okay. Then Shakma, as you are grabbing some supplies and you walk into the middle of the bones, you guys watch as the ribcage completely closes, trapping Shakma, and this giant lizard-like creature rises up out of the sand with the bones sticking up out of its back. And that's where we're gonna stop.
Wait, so like, it's like Stegosaurus like closed around him, or what?
Yeah. Like they're like so. They're the bones sticking up. He was inside, and they went yoink like Venus flytrap
Okay.
close, and he is
Okay.
on the back of this giant lizard.
Oh boy.
Question: is the name of the giant lizard Tarask?
No.
No.
Because I don't think we've got challenge rating 36 in us right now.
No.
But, so we will find out what happens next time. So, for anyone out there, thank you for joining us. I think there's a chance we might not be next week because I don't know if we have everyone, but I will keep everyone up to date with what's going on. Otherwise, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Goodbye.